Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. Today we'll be reviewing the second ODI between Australia and India. It was another day, but a similar result. Mustafa and me are going to just go through the review of the game. Another dominant performance by Australia. Musti, we didn't the same issues in the batting, same issues in the bowling. The fielding was poor as well. Again, I mean they were maybe a tad bit better, but overall just a pretty poor performance. We scored 350 and lost by 50 runs. That's not usually the case in most games. But yeah, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, replica of the first game, man. 2.2 of the first ODI.
Literally.
Australia's top order again punishing India. 140 plus partnership between Warner and Smith. Um, Let me just pull the scorecard for us. Uh, Let me share my screen. There you go. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so look at the top order again. Warner and Finch, their partnership was 142. I think 150 in the first game. They batted beautifully. I think Finch would have been upset with the shot he played, but Warner unlucky to get run out. And then that man, Steve Smith, man, again 100 of 62 balls, same exact
Yeah.
score that he did in the first game. So the way he's finding the gaps is unbelievable. To be very honest with you, I don't know how you felt, but I just couldn't believe that when I saw the balls, I'm like, how did he get there so fast? Like you can't even tell. Like there weren't that many sixes. How many sixes? He had two sixes. That's it, 14
Yeah.
4. So it's just finding the gaps. He knows where the fielders are, and he played with the field. Even if there was a slower delivery, he waited for it. He played the scoop. He played the drives. Played the flicks. So I think unbelievable batting by Steve Smith. And I really, before I get to the Maxwell, I really want to praise Labuschagne as well. I think. He set the template for some of the Indian middle order batsmen that even if you can't hit, he hit only 4 boundaries, so that's 5 boundaries. That's only 20 runs in boundaries. So even if you can't hit, work the singles, rotate the strike, and the other guy will hit. That will keep the run rate up. So Labuschagne, I think all marks to him, credit to him, the way he played. It wasn't the most aggressive innings, but it was very smart innings. And Maxwell, bro. Uh,
The big
uh,
show.
this is not his twin who went to Dubai for the IPL. This is proper Maxwell. Like he's unbelievable talent, man. 63 or 29 balls, 4 4s, 4 6s, playing the reverse, playing the scoop. With ease, man. He's the perfect finisher for Australia, and this team is looking really good, especially in these conditions. I think they can exploit it was a really good batting wicket, but they made sure they got the extra 20, 30 runs. So credit to Australia.
Absolutely. I think 100%. I think Cricket Australia needs to thank BCCI for setting up the IPL because that got Steve Smith, Aaron Finch, and Maxwell into kind of some kind of form. But these guys look incredible. I mean, it's just like you said. I mean, they don't seem like the same people that were in Dubai. All three of them, in fact. Even
Yeah.
Finch was so out of place. Smithy was also like, I mean, he really wasn't, except for maybe one or two games, he didn't really have a big score. And Maxwell was abysmal. I believe if I'm not wrong, I think he scored 108 runs in 20 matches in the IPL, not 20 matches in the 14 that they play, I think, and I think he played all of them, and he scored more than that in two games that he's played for Australia in the summer. So
Yeah.
so some crazy stats over there, but. Yeah, credit to them. I mean, everyone chipped in. Did an amazing job. 393, 389 is a very good score. I mean, um, keeps you in driver's seat all throughout. Um, the Indian bowling,
Yeah.
shocking. This time they
Yeah.
didn't even have the five bowler problem. They tried a couple others and still didn't work out.
So there's a lot to talk about in this bowling lineup. Again, I think what I didn't understand is like Shami and Bumrah. They have such good variations. They're such smart bowlers. I understand that they can have a bad day, but they already had that in the first game. Here, at least one of them should have shown a bit more. I think a bit more. They have the skill, so they should have just used their brains a bit more. It looked like there was no plan. I think that you could see when Australia bowled, there was a plan there. Bowl the slower balls, variations, bowl it a bit outside off stump. Here, there was no plan to any batsman. They were just coming in and bowling, and it was a flat wicket. So Australia made use of that. So I'm not saying that if you get hit for 330, 40, 50 on a flat wicket, that's fine. But they gave 40, 50 runs extra. And that's because they didn't have a plan. They didn't bowl smartly. Australia got hit as well. So I'm not going to go crazy on the bowling because it was a flat wicket, but definitely I expect more from Shami and Bumrah, at least in terms of variations in changing the lines and lengths. Especially in the death overs, I expected more from them. Even in the opening spell, like they're struggling to get a wicket with the new ball.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think we saw the Australian bowlers step up, and they variated the ball very well. There was a lot of variations. You saw when Stark wasn't doing that, he got beat. So he realized that, and he comes in, and the smartness that Cummins and Hazelwood showed. Hazelwood just perfect line and length, man. He didn't do much. He just keeps bowling in the same line, same length. There is one area you need to bowl, that good length deliveries at least. Keep trying to hit that good length. They overpitched it way too much, and they made it easy for the Australian batsmen. No, I'm not taking anything away from the Australian batsmen. They were good, but I mean, it was aided by a little bit of poor bowling also. Like
100%, yeah.
Navdeep Saini was also very very poor yesterday, unfortunately.
10 runs per
Uh,
over, man.
and he every time he looked like he bowled one or two good balls, he backed it up with two over pitch deliveries which went for fours and sixes.
And I think
So
there's a tactical error to give him the last over. You had a over from Shami.
yeah,
They should have changed it up and make sure that Shami got the last over. Bumrah did. I think giving Saini the last over, it went for plenty of runs. So I don't think also tactically that was an issue as well. And this is where I have the problem. We kept saying get the part timer on. They got Agarwal on for 1 over, right? And then after that, they bring Pandya on. He bowls 4 overs. He's your best bowler. 6 run economy. And like Virat Kohli and Finn jokingly said that, like he said, he laid the kind of platform for the Australian bowlers to, this is how you're supposed to bowl on this
yeah,
pitch. But my question to you is that he's your best bowler, right? He bowled 4 overs. He bowls after Agarwal. Virat Kohli said clearly that I just asked him on the spot. It came from nowhere. And he said, yeah, I'll bowl. Isn't that a lack of planning?
completely.
So how can you, like, that's what
100%.
I do not
It
understand that.
it makes no sense. And if he's going to go with Pandya, go with him in the over before Agarwal, because he's your extra bowler.
But
You
in
don't
my
have to give
opinion,
Agarwal the ball.
before the match, this should have been done. This shows there is no planning
There's no
from the ball.
discussion. There's no
There's no,
communication.
yeah, there's nothing. Because if you know that he can bowl, right? You should ask him before the game. This is the situation. You know that it's a flat wicket. You might need his services. You ask him, "Yo, can you bowl?" He'll say, "Yes, I can bowl 3 or 4 overs." If he says that, then you calculate it like that, right?
Yeah,
So they need to. Even Pandya needs to be clear, and Kohli, the captain, needs to be clear.
yeah,
So
agreed.
and that shows it's not. So it shows overall there's no planning. Even with the spinners, Chahal was going tossing it up there. You didn't see that many field changes. Even with Jadeja, like he was just like going through the motions. There needs to be a planning, and there was no planning, no strategies. I understand it's a flat wicket, but they could have still restricted them to 340 which would have been 100% chaseable. I wouldn't say they would. I don't know if they would have chased it, but it would have been much more chaseable, much more
Yeah, I
realistic.
agree. I agree 100%. There's no doubt
So the
about that.
biggest problem for me is the planning in terms of the bowling. There was no
Yeah,
planning at all.
there was no. They just
Pre-match,
went in.
during match,
Yeah,
nothing.
exactly. I feel like I feel like in the team talk they just went and like whoever was in charge just said, okay, do what you have to do, and
Yeah.
these guys tried to do what they had to do. Simple. There was no plan A, plan B, plan C. There was nothing. It's a 50-over game. You need 4 or 5 plans to keep going. Your first and second plan might not work always. Sometimes they do, and you'll get the team out for 200. Great, but that's not gonna happen, right, all the time. And there's a quality Australian side. There has to be more planning. There has to be plan A, B, C, D. There have to be a lot of different ways. You realize that the fast bowlers are not working. You have to variation. There have to be. I just don't understand what is the think tank doing. What is the coaching staff doing? The batting coach, the bowling coach. The has questions have to be raised on these guys. The captain's decision making, the coaches kind of not laying the plans out correctly. No, don't get me wrong. This is a very quality Indian side. This is 11 match
100%.
winners on their day. Just they just are kind of clueless at this moment, unfortunately,
Yeah.
with a lack of a better word, right?
Yeah, I mean, like they saw the pitch in the first game. It was going to play similar. It was a different. I think it was a different surface, but they knew that it was going to be a flat wicket. They could have planned it from before. But also, I didn't understand is, also they got lucky. I think Pandya bowled. He bowled amazing,
Yeah,
superb. The way he
yeah,
mixed his line and length, he bowled a slower delivery. He was even his length sometimes short, sometimes full. He was very. It was very hard to get him away, right?
right.
But so if he didn't bowl, it could have been 430, 440. What would you do? He went to him in desperation. He's like, "Oh, can you bowl during the game?" So it was a desperate call, which it benefited them in the end. But also, I felt that Pandya could have also communicated with Shami and Bumrah during the game. Like, I'm sure they communicate, I'm sure they talk, but maybe he could have told them, "Listen, try this." They should have tried it. Like, I'm saying, when you're getting hit and everything, do something a bit different. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Unfortunately, there's a lot of thinking to do, and it's just a matter of like playing for pride, I guess. Now, coming to the Indian batting, not a lot that was too wrong. They started off well. Virat had a good innings. KL Rahul had a good innings. uh, susceptible. Shreyas Iyer is still susceptible to the short ball. Unfortunately,
Oh,
you could see
that's a big
that's a big
thing.
issue.
Yeah.
It's
We
like
were
Rena
discussing,
all over the,
yeah,
yeah. It's like
yeah.
Rena all over
We were
again.
discussing it before the game. You're like, no, he's a great batsman. I agreed with you, but this is a huge issue, like away
Big
from home.
problem. Big problem. I thought it was just one game and he'll settle into it, but he, he was looking
He was
poor
going
again.
like, yeah, going across the wicket. I mean, like he was moving away, shuffling away, and trying to hit it over. Like he was struggling.
He was struggling. He was struggling for sure. Little bit of criticism also. Both the openers got a start. Not one of them stuck around. I expected once you get a start, you expect the one of the big guys to go get those 50s hundreds.
Hmm.
Virat Kohli was good. I think he was good, and unfortunately he got out the time he did. If he was in the game, there was a little bit of a better chance maybe.
Yeah.
KL Rahul again very good. Hardik Pandya. I mean, I guess he can. He's that kind of guy, right? He's gonna go for it, and if he gets out, he gets out. But that's his style of playing.
Yeah.
Jaddu came in and scored a couple of good shots, so
Yeah,
that was nice to see. So
he gave them a slight ray of hope with his innings.
honestly, there was really no ray of hope at that point in time. It was a little difficult by then already. But yes, of course,
Because there was
maybe
a few no balls going around as well and
yeah,
free hits
yeah,
and stuff. So
yeah,
at that time, but yeah, very like 0.1% chance.
maybe like a
B-
point per se.
But
Yeah,
I
fair
think
enough.
probably the main criticism I would do with the batting is just that I think they should have rotated the strike more. They
Yeah,
consumed a bit too many dot balls. Yes, they did bat. They bat really well. I think Virat Kohli was exceptional. Some brilliant shots. But that got the pressure. Even when him and Rahul were batting, I think Rahul was playing superbly. He was hitting sixes, timing the ball beautifully. But he played too many dot balls. So
yeah,
he could have easily had that 76 of like 50 balls. It doesn't have to be 66 because he missed a lot of balls trying to hit it out of the park.
yeah.
So instead
I
of
agree.
going, you should have done the Labuschagne way. I think rotated it, and that would have taken the pressure off Kohli. And if these two battled till the end, it could have been much closer than it was.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
but yes, I agree with you. I think they still batted well. The biggest problem was the bowling. But if you just now you have the runs on the board, you have to.
Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to go for it. So I'm just like analyzing it based on their target, and I felt that they could have got closer to the target if they rotated the strike more.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they should have rotated
One
the strike.
improvement was they kept sorry to cut you, but they kept wickets in hand in this game compared to the first one. So I would that's one improvement. They learned from their mistake, but I felt another place where they need to improve is rotation of strike.
Yeah, I think, and that's why they got those 30 extra runs. They ended up with 340, so which is a decent score.
Mm.
So fair enough. I mean, yeah, coming to the Australian bowling, Stark just had an off day.
Yeah,
He
he's
was a
taking
little bit
time.
like Bumrah and Shami. He's just taking his time to figure it out. Joshi was good. Joshi is always, you expect that line and length from him. Pat Cummins, of course, champion bowler. I've never really doubted him, even though he had a poor IPL. Adam Zampa takes the wickets. Moses and Glenn Maxwell chip in with a wicket each. I mean, there was nothing really wrong in this bowling. It was
Look
a
at
flat deck.
who if you look at this bowling lineup, who would you target?
Uh, Moses and Maxi.
Look at Moses' economy.
Yeah, I agree. Four less than five,
Yeah,
and he
I
got the
think him,
wicket as well.
and that was planning. Like
Yeah,
they bowled the slower balls, they bowled the cutters, and I think Cummins as well. Like, yes, his economy was a bit higher, but he bowled really well. I think there's an over where he gave just one wide. He practically bowled a maiden when I think Rahul and Pandya were there, if I'm not mistaken. But that shows that they had a plan. Yes, they were going for runs, but they were trying to execute something, and that's why they got wickets here and there, and that's why they could restrict them. Otherwise, they would have also gone for 400. But they had a proper plan. They tried it, they executed it, and it worked out.
yeah, I agree.
It's still not the best bowling performance by Australia. It's not like, but it's that bit, just those wickets here and there, those pressure overs, bowling those dot balls. It pulls them back and wins them the game.
100% agreed. 100%. There's no doubt. There's nothing that I can. I mean, you kind of nailed it on the nailed in the head. Perfect. They had the plan and they executed it. Of course, it didn't go out completely as planned, but they had like some backup. They had some options, and they had an extra bowler that they worked with. And Moses giving you 7 overs obviously is very useful. So they perfectly played out their cards. I mean, hats off to them. Credit, man. This is a good unit, and they showed. I mean, yes, they went for 340 runs, but like you said, it was a matter of inches, and because it was a flat deck, it was a batting paradise. So you're not going to be expecting them to get India all out for 250 because India has a good quality batting side as
Yeah,
well. So, but you were able to in the beginning set that momentum, get those extra runs, and then you had that time to put that pressure. So, I mean,
yeah.
hats off to Australia. Good job. Um, yeah, I think that wraps it up. Your player of the match.
Steven Smith, man, I think just his 100 again was the difference. His strike rate was unbelievable. Shot placement, brilliant. His runs were the difference, and shout out to Enriquez and Cummins as well. But I think Smith's innings was the difference. They had no answer to his shots or anything like that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Maxi also a little bit of a shout out.
Oh
The
yeah,
big
of
show, the
course.
big show's back. I mean, he was the difference
Yeah, that
in
could have been
360 and
actually, yeah,
390.
yeah,
So
for sure.
so
Those 20, 30
uh,
runs. And so if you
yeah,
look at it in hindsight, like, you can say also the toss gives you the advantage because the pitch maybe slowly slows down. But still, I don't think the pitch changed too much. It's just that if, a bit like 10, 20 runs, if you like restricted them to 10, 20 runs less, it would have been definitely game on.
yeah, I think so. I think it would have been very interesting if they would have just maybe scored that 350, 360 range.
Yeah.
It would have been a very interesting game. Unfortunate. I mean, hopefully they learn from this. Just a funny thing, since we're kind of criticizing India, unfortunately, because the situation kind of demands it. Virat Kohli doesn't win too many tosses too.
Yeah, I know.
That's not in his hand, but
A lot of my friends were saying that, man, why is he not winning the toss and everything? But that's complete luck. You can't do
yeah,
much with
can't do
that.
much about it.
Yeah, you can't do much with that. But yeah, I think there's a lot to improve, and we criticize them. Of course, that's our job. But also, we're passionate about this team. We follow this team around. So like you want them to do good. So
Yeah.
that's why you criticize them and you see where you can improve. And I feel there's a lot of areas that they can improve, both tactically and also skill wise. And they're not that far. Yes, it looks like yes, it was a bad loss, both of them, but it's not that far. They just need to. And the reason why it's upsetting is because this, like you said, this team has so much potential. So when you have this much potential, you expect a bit more from them, and that's what's causing that, that extra bit of,
Vacuum. Yeah,
yeah,
fair enough.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think moving on to the final ODI, just pride to play for. It plays into Australia's hands perfectly. They can probably
Perfect.
rest a couple of their bowlers, and
Cummins is rested, and
even
Warner, yeah,
Warner
Warner,
unfortunate
yeah,
injury.
he
Yeah,
got injured, pulled his groin, so he will be out for the last one day and for the T20s. Hoping that he'll be back for the tests,
right.
for the sake of the neutral and for Australian fans. I think
Yeah,
he's an unbelievable player to watch. Very unlucky when he was fielding, he pulled his groin, but yeah, hopefully he'll be back for the
yeah. I
test.
think and they can probably maybe rest maybe even Mitchell Stark, and I mean, of course, you don't want to because you want to
Yeah,
get him
so
in rhythm or whatever.
in
But
that
they
they've
have
rested Cummins. They've rested Cummins. He's not gonna play, but
yeah,
he's not gonna be in the squad for the last one day in T20s. But for Stark, they kept him, and I think it's because of that rust. You can see clearly he
yeah,
didn't play
yeah.
the IPL, right, and it's been a long time since he's played. So you can see he's spraying it around. So yeah, and that's the difference. I think Maxwell Smith they had poor, and Finch, they had poor IPLs, but they still played. So I think
Yeah.
that's they still had that back cricket behind
Even
them,
Cummins, yeah,
and
even
Cummins as
Cummins.
well. Yeah,
That's
so
four. That's four people who've done a very good job who have had very poor IPLs.
yeah, yeah.
So I mean, fair enough. But for India, just pride to play for. They probably go with a full squad and try and get that win under their belt. I mean, that's kind of just to turn things around. I mean, like you said, they're not very far off. But one or two things just fall in place, and you never know. Just something that lifts them up, and then hopefully this ODI win will probably be the kind of change that you want in going into the T20s. Maybe get some momentum before the Test matches.
Yeah, I would like to see Shubman Gill because he's also there in the Test squad, and there's no Kohli and Virat there. So if he can get a few games, if he performs well, you can consider him for the Test matches. So I would like to see Shubman Gill play, and then maybe try Natarajan for Saini just to see if. I don't know if Saini is 100% fit. Yes, he had a poor game. So, I mean, that's kind of dicey. So, if you drop him, it might be a confidence thing as well. But I would
Yeah.
just like to see maybe Natarajan. And if Shubman Gill can play, that would be really nice. I feel with the
In place of
test.
Shreyas Iyer.
That's harsh, but yeah, probably in place of Shreyas Iyer.
I guess
Because
that's also true.
Virat Kohli is not, or you drop Agarwal and you make Rahul open, or
Yeah.
you make Shubman Gill open.
Yeah, I think some things for them to
So
ponder on. Let's see
yeah,
how it
I
goes.
think Shreyas Iyer, like you said, you've mentioned it privately to me that he's very important. Number 4, he's had a good thing. So I would like to see him come out of this,
Yeah.
face that short ball. I wouldn't
Yeah.
drop him just because he can't play the short ball. I would
Yeah.
want him to face his fears or challenge whatever, and improve on that.
Yeah.
But I just want to see Shubman Gill, and with the Test matches coming, this youngster, he's the future for India. So maybe he can get a few runs under his belt before the Test series. Why not maybe play him, because Rohit and Kohli are not going to be there. So
Yeah, and I think for Shreyas Iyer as well, I just think that consistency is needed. I
Yeah.
think that that's been a problem area for us, and I think that he's been the best kind of solution so far, at least. Yes, it's an issue, but it's an issue that now we know, and with the practice and technology, I'm pretty sure he'll be able to come out of it as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
So
he'll have to. Like, we can't just he can't end his career just because he can't play the short ball. He'll have
yeah,
to. We know Raina also had that issue,
yeah.
and he worked on it. So I'm sure that he'll work on it.
Yeah, I think that wraps it up. Looking forward to the next game, just for some pride purposes more than anything else. I mean, the ODIs is kind of gone,
Yeah.
but let's hope that India can change it up a little bit and give us something to cheer about.
Yeah, for sure, man. Looking forward to seeing, and maybe a Virat Kohli century. It's been a while, so
Yeah,
he was
he
very
was
close in the
close.
last.
Yeah,
He was very close. We only have like 3 or 4 games left of him. Let's say 5 games. One day, three
yeah,
T20s,
yeah. And the
and
first test. Yeah,
the first test. So
so
you
six
know,
innings technically
yeah.
because he's
So
going to play
look,
two innings
yeah,
in
so
the
looking
test.
forward to watching him. Let's get the most of that, and yeah, hopefully an India win, just to consolation win, getting some confidence going into the T20 series. If they lose
Absolutely.
this, it's going to be a very very long series. It's going to be a very long
Yeah,
tour. It's going to be a
yeah.
very long tour.
I
Yeah,
agree. I think
but
hopefully Michael Vaughan is wrong about convincingly beating. They already beat us the ODIs, so
yeah,
hopefully we can change it up in the T20s and give them a
hopefully,
good fight in the tests. Let's see.
yeah,
Right,
hopefully.
that wraps it up. Thank you. We'll catch you out of the third ODI.
Thank you so much, man. Take care.